project is a driving simulator for people who are not able to use their lower limbs to drive. The client that we had in mind is a young girl from the Mobility Center who had told us that her goal was to get her driver's license. And in order for her to do this, she was going to have to practice on the most realistic adaptive vehicle that she could possibly find. So we took it upon us to just try and make this possible for her. And by doing this, we also realized that for future generations in the Mobility Center, this could also be very beneficial, because practicing on a car simulator before they step out into the real world would provide them with the confidence and the strength that they need in order to be successful.
So the first issue with the car simulator was that it was too large. So the first thing we did was to cut it in half so that it could be smaller. From there, we went to go talk to our specific client in mind so we could find out what her main concerns were with the car simulator. Her main concern was that it was unrealistic. So from there, our goal was to make the car simulator more realistic. We wanted to add more resistance to the steering wheel because at first it was just in free spin with no resistance. We also wanted to add steering wheel assistive devices so that people who lack motor function in their hands could have an easier time steering the wheel. But our main goal was to add push-pull hand controls for an adaptive vehicle. But the ones that were on there were unrealistic, so we wanted to seek a donation of real hand controls, and luckily we were able to get a donation from an adaptive car dealership in Pasadena.
So first of all, shout out to MobilityWorks for the hand controls. When we got them in the box, we had no idea what to do with them. Even though we had like a manual, it just showed pictures, not really how to assemble it. It was kind of like IKEA. So it took us about an hour and a half to figure out how to assemble it, and then we had to figure out how to assemble it onto our car simulator, which was difficult. So we had to take off the steering wheel to try and find out how to put the mount on. We actually had to grind some pieces off so we could have enough thread to put the bolts on to get the hand controls to be supported onto the steering wheel. So yeah, the hand controls were a bit of an issue for us. For the future, also, we could also add resistance to the steering wheel. We didn't really have enough time to touch on that. And if possible, probably add a seat to the car simulator. That would probably be beneficial.